Because she would message me about my videos, accusing me that it was about her partner, which is my ex-fiance.
So a
And
message would occur after you saw that she accessed your TikTok. Then you'd get the message, and the message would say that that's what I'm trying to figure out. So
just kind of
the
that
message,
he really just thinks that I really am interested in being with my ex Chandler, which I have honestly, I have no interest in speaking to them again, either of them. I hate that I had to make every single one of my profiles private just so that I could live my life without having to worry that like I'm being watched, because that's like such an unsafe feeling when I
all right. So the messages were that something about an ex.
yeah, and then there was times when there was threats, which I submitted one of them.
Yeah, the one that you talked about back in November. Is that what you're talking about? Being
And
threatened to knock my teeth down my throat after I called her out for once again stalking my profile. So that goes back to November 2nd.
yeah,
So that was, you had noticed she visited one of your
yes,
TikTok or what? And then,
hanging out with her partner when they were split up. Me and her partner had become friends again, and she was very worried because she loves them and she wants to be with them, and so like felt a little insecure. And
temporary restraining order issued against Ms. Paris, protecting Ms. Carnes. And that's what we're going to talk about today, whether that continues after today. So, Ms. Carnes, are you still asking the court for this order?
I read Molly's statement where she said that she has no interest in ever contacting me again, which is honestly really all I want. I think I would feel more safe if we just had this just kind of like as an insurance, kind of like, because I am worried that like she may not stick to that.
Well, Ms. Paris, do you object to this order issuing?
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
a little silly.
Then let's have a hearing. And I'll start out with Ms. Carnes and know from both of you. So Ms. Carnes, you asked for this order, a temporary order was issued. So this was around March 17th that you came to the court. Tell me why the court should issue this order.
So I was looking through and I found that the first time I was contacted by Molly was back in July of 2023. And it's just been kind of a constant stalking of my profiles.
When you say that, what does that mean to you?
So it was like multiple times a day, I would get a notification that her username viewed my profile on TikTok. She would message me. I was also under the impression.
Let me step you back though. On TikTok, I mean, that's out in the public domain and you expect people to look at that. How is that stalking in your sense?
Because she would message me about my videos, accusing me that it was about her partner, which is my ex-fiance.
So a
And
message would occur after you saw that she accessed your TikTok. Then you'd get the message, and the message would say that that's what I'm trying to figure out. So
just kind of
the
that
message,
he really just thinks that I really am interested in being with my ex Chandler, which I have honestly, I have no interest in speaking to them again, either of them. I hate that I had to make every single one of my profiles private just so that I could live my life without having to worry that like I'm being watched, because that's like such an unsafe feeling when I
all right. So the messages were that something about an ex.
yeah, and then there was times when there was threats, which I submitted one of them.
Yeah, the one that you talked about back in November. Is that what you're talking about? Being threatened to knock my teeth down my throat after I called her out for once again stalking my profile. So that goes back to November 2nd.
Yeah.
So that was, you had noticed she visited one of your TikTok
Yes.
or what? And then,
Hanging out with her partner when they were split up. Me and her partner had become friends again, and she was very worried because she loves them and she wants to be with them, and so like felt a little insecure and took it out on me when the second that I was told like I wasn't wanted around, I left. I blocked on everything. I was like, okay, cool, this is my escape finally, because this has been this multiple years now of a very toxic, abusive situation that I just don't want to be a part of it.
Jump it back. So November 2nd, you get that, and you didn't come ask for an order. 5 months later, you come for an order. So what did you think that statement meant at that point, threatening to knock your teeth out?
Well, to be honest, I understand where Molly's coming from because I also used to be very protective over Chandler. And so, like, the thing that made me worried was Chandler and Chandler's family warning me about Molly and all of, like, telling me that she was a scary person. But I figured that, like, I had Chandler around at that time, and I thought, I would be okay. And I'm also just used to rolling over, especially in this dynamic relationship. It's just very messy. And I think I just figured I would let it, and we talked it through was the thing, and we both realized that we were being lied to about things because I was told she was an abuser, like we talked it through. So that's why I didn't report anything.
Okay, and so after that November, so after that November threat, and then you talked things through with Ms. Paris.
Yeah, and I thought we were okay.
All right, that's good. And then after that, the thing that got you to come to court was
So then all of a sudden I got a call from my friend who was in town. I see her twice a year. She was at Buffalo Wild Wings. She wanted me to come, which is like just a few minutes down the road from me, right? So I drove there to go meet her because I feel like as the victim of abuse, I can decide if I feel comfortable going to a restaurant that my abusive ex is a cook at. I wasn't planning on seeing her. I thought she'd be in the back cooking, and I didn't speak to her at all. However, a few days later, I then received a message from Molly, which I submitted about going to that restaurant, and then it was another message and then another message, and it was just happened to be one of the profiles that I forgot to block when I went through my block list, and it was all in my message requests, and then I didn't respond, and she then said in one of the messages, you should have fucking responded to the first message because now I'm gonna tell the whole 9 yards or something like that. I'm sure you have the picture in front of you, but
so you added 3 images. You added 3 images to your petition. It's nearly impossible for you to know when these happened and who writes what. So
okay. I'm sorry. I thought I had. I know the first time I sent in stuff, things were corrupted, so things might not have fully been sent through the second time.
They just say 123 and 128 time and sluggy lady, and I can't determine who's
lady is Molly's account.
Okay.
And so that's a screenshot of my message request on Instagram because I don't have her added on there, but I did forget to block. Then all of a sudden, and I didn't even notice the messages at first because, like I said, they're in my requests, so I didn't see them right away. But when I realized that, because I haven't spoken to any of them since December, so I just figured clean cut, never have to deal with it again. And then all of a sudden, I'm receiving message after message, and she's viewing all my stories again, and I'm scared of getting pulled back into that toxicity, and from messages from the ex and her current partner and messages from her herself saying that she gets violent and abusive when she drinks. It scares me.
Did you ever see that when you knew her?
I did not, because I've only ever seen her twice in person. I've never really interacted much with her in person. I mostly just know of her through stories from Chandler, which was a year and a half of a story of Molly abusing her. And so I don't know what's true and what's not. And so that's why I just figured, and I'm not the type of person, I just wanted to let it blow over. But I had my therapist and my care coordinator and all of my friends that have been watching this go on for years just finally just be like, you have to do something. So I am.
All right. And anything that you wanted to comment on what was filed by Ms. Paris?
Just the idea that it's a retaliation. It's really not. If it was, I would have, gone with the years of abuse evidence that I have on my phone against her partner if it was retaliation. And I'm not doing that because I just want this to be over. But I also really respect the fact that Molly's willing to not reach out to me again. And because that's, at the end of the day, what I want, because in a way, it's I know that me going to the restaurant her partner works at upset her clearly. But for me, I feel like it's better to face the devil than the one you don't. So I know how Chandler hits. I don't know how Molly does, but I've heard stories, and that just scares me. And I just think that I want out fully, and I just want to move forward with my life, and I can't do that if every move I'm making on social media is being stalked. It makes me paranoid, and I don't want to live that way anymore. There's a reason that I have walked away. There's a reason I moved homes. I want to leave for real, which includes having my ex's girlfriend leave me alone. And that's But I appreciate the response, and I understand why Molly might think some of the things that she does, but I just want out, and I don't want to get hurt in the process.
All right, so Ms. Paris, then you did file a 4-page response, and I appreciate that. It's always helpful to have things put to writing. And I've had an opportunity to look at that before court, and again, re-reviewing things on the right page here. Anything else, Ms. Paris?